Remember where we were just a week ago. 4 consecutive defeats in the Premier League, a shameful League Cup exit, a season that seemed ready to fall apart. Saturday's victory over Aston Villa was a stoppage of the bleeding, but taking the scalp of Real Madrid. That is the real evidence that we are back on the path of sustained revival. This was our most cohesive and intense performance of the season. The tempo, the controlled aggression, the clear plan. It all returned to a level we haven't seen since April. It was the special European night at Anfield, where the players were fueled by the energy of the stands and the fans provided that energy. By the way, this was our second consecutive November triumph over Real Madrid at Anfield. And Liverpool has once again made Champions League history. All 5 of our victories over the Los Blancos have been clean sheets. No one else has this record. We are special, of course. Arne Slot undoubtedly deserves praise for the perfect team selection. He avoided making drastic changes. After a difficult but important win over Aston Villa, Slot decided to trust the same players and maintain the same match rhythm. He made only one change, and this allowed the team, which had finally found its form, to continue playing cohesively and at the same time, high level. I'm talking about Florian Wirtz, but more on him later. Let's start with a tactical key to domination, which surprisingly was Conor Bradley. This wasn't just a match. It was supposed to be a duel of the past and the future, and it had a powerful emotional backdrop. Moreover, it was a clash of identities. A young, fearless, and determined player who embodies the club's aspiration against a player who chose to leave. When Alexander-Arnold took his place on the bench, the stands made it clear who was in charge by chanting, "There is only one Conor Bradley."
There's only one Conor Bradley. There's only one Conor Bradley.
And Bradley justified that trust. This was arguably his best performance of the season, and he demonstrated why he's considered the heir of the right-back position. Remember the tackle against Mbappe last year. This time, he went head-to-head in a physical battle with Vinícius Júnior and completely neutralized him. Bradley was fired up but composed, winning duel after duel against the increasingly frustrated Brazilian. Vinícius was so annoyed that he got a yellow card for a foul on Bradley and later staged a theatrical dive, looking for a penalty after a light touch. This shows that Bradley got under his skin. He literally put him in his pocket. Conor Bradley won 100% of his tackles and 8 duels versus Vinícius tonight. Vinícius lost possession 19 times against him, had 0 shots and 0 goals and assists. These numbers are truly impressive. When I saw them in the LFC Live app, I couldn't believe it. By the way, the app contains the most detailed statistics on our team and players. There are more match schedules than Courtois saves in this match, and more materials about Liverpool. Download the app via the link in the description and pinned comment. But his role was not limited to defense. Bradley was a genuine threat in attack, demonstrating fearlessness and confidence. His ability to make unexpected runs into the deep and carry the ball forward without overthinking was so effective that Real's defense couldn't reorganize quickly enough. He showed no respect for stars like Bellingham and Mbappe, successfully beating them. His performance became a symbol of Liverpool's return to the intensity and creativity that were missing during the recent slump. Or maybe we overestimated him and this is just Vinícius in terrible form. Write your thoughts in the comments. Now about Florian Wirtz. He was Slot's only change, and we finally saw what we paid £100 million for. Wirtz, replacing Gakpo on the left flank, was given the freedom to move across the entire field, and he took advantage of it. He was the catalyst. His pressing without the ball was energetic. He made confident touches, delivered accurate passes, and created chances. His movement led to a tackle, an interception from Huijsen, and the creation of the first chance for McAllister. Later, he picked up Huijsen's inaccurate pass to cross it to Szoboszlai, who was brilliantly denied by Courtois. Wirtz was like a magnet. He constantly shifted and found free zones between Real's defense and midfield. There, he quickly passed the ball to a teammate and immediately moved on, ensuring quick 1-2 passes and excellent interaction with Ugo Ekitike. Although he didn't get a goal or an assist, this was his best performance in a red shirt and it gave hope for the future. And of course, our key midfielder should be recognized. Dominik Szoboszlai was, to put it mildly, legendary. His powerful shots forced Courtois to make a series of extraordinary saves, including an amazing reflex save with his foot. Szoboszlai worked tirelessly in the center of the pitch, but his real contribution was in set pieces. His perfect, powerful free kick was essentially an assist for McAllister. And Alexis? His return to form in the last 2 matches has certainly transformed a team that previously looked lost. His late run into the penalty area, where he slipped away from Álvaro Carreras to head the ball past Courtois' hands, was the decisive moment. He brings us to one of the key tactical elements: set pieces. English clubs are often criticized for this, but in Champions League matches like this, where domination in open play might not yield a result, set pieces are a realistic way to break through. Courtois' heroism in the first half made us think we might be capped scoreless, but after the break, we started working persistently on set pieces. First Van Dijk, then Ekitike, Courtois saved, but the pressure was building, and ultimately our efforts were rewarded. The irony is that Liverpool ranks only 11th in the Premier League for chances created from set pieces, but our opponent, Real Madrid, has conceded 4 out of 10 goals this season from set pieces. We exploited this weakness, and McAllister punished them. However, we cannot overlook Real Madrid's goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois. This was an individual masterclass that could have stolen points from us. His performance was reminiscent of that 2022 Champions League final in Paris, where he was the man of the match. Saves from Szoboszlai with his foot, saves from shot outside the box from Szoboszlai and McAllister, and a stunning reflex to parry Van Dijk's close-range header. This was a world-class goalkeeper putting on a one-man resistance. Although McAllister finally beat him, it would have been an absolutely unfair draw if not for Courtois. In conclusion, let's talk about the drama of Trent Alexander-Arnold's return. His mural was vandalized and the player himself received an extremely hostile reception during the warm-up and his entry in the 81st minute. A cacophony of boos accompanied his every touch. The chanting of Gerard's name was a stinting hint to the academy product who decided to leave his boyhood club. Iconic applauses after his inaccurate passes only intensified the bitterness of his return. It was a very unhappy evening for Trent, but it also showed how much Liverpool fans value loyalty and commitment to the club, especially when he's replaced by such a dedicated and talented player as Conor Bradley. Do you think he deserves to be received this way? Write your thoughts in the comments. But there is one topic that slightly unites us with Real Madrid. What I mentioned at the beginning. How is Liverpool connected to founding of Real Madrid? This is an incredible story, and it has deep roots here on Merseyside. We are talking about Arthur Johnson, one of the key figures who was at the very beginning of Real Madrid. Johnson, an engineer originally from Dublin, found himself in Madrid and not only played in the club's first official match, then Madrid FC, and scored their first Clásico goal against Barcelona in 1902, but also became their first official coach for an entire decade. He coached Santiago Bernabéu himself. Part of his legacy is, according to some reports, the selection of the club's legendary all-white kit. But the most interesting part, after returning to Great Britain, Johnson settled here in Wallasey, Wirral, working for the United Alkali Company of Liverpool. He died in 1929 and is buried in Wallasey, just a 20-minute drive from Anfield. His grave remained without mention of his magnificent contribution to world football for almost 100 years, until local fans and historians restored it. And just before this match, Liverpool and Real Madrid fans united to visit his grave, lay flowers, and honor the memory of the man whose foundation helped create the club that became our greatest European rival. This is an eloquent sign that despite the fierce rivalry, there is room in football for great respect and shared history. So, this victory lifts us to 6th place in the table, level on points with Real Madrid, and this is a position that secures automatic qualification for the round of 16. This night proved that our season is back on track. The team we saw on the field was full of character, intensity, and quality. But now, as Slot would say, these standards must be maintained. The next stop is at the Etihad this week. Can we repeat the history? Write in the comments what impressed you most in this match: Bradley, Wirtz, or perhaps the incredible Courtois. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our full tactical analysis of the match against Manchester City. See you in a bit. Bye bye.